You know? Is that from the free throw line? Keep working.
If it's from the free throw line, let's start counting.
1, 2, 3. It can't be. It was way too fast. No doubt. Coming up, Kevin, we also have a fantastic story about a Bucks superfan that you'll no doubt want to be watching for today. New on SportsCenter, though, that man's head coach, Mike Budenholzer, talking about his dominant big game.
I think very generally speaking, Giannis is in a good place. And I think generally he's getting a little bit better with the passing of time. But I think he's feeling good. He's playing or he's moving well, and so I don't really put percentages and all that stuff on it. But I say to say that he's getting a little bit better each day, I think is a fair thing.
Jeff Van Gundy is on the call for tonight's Game 4 and joins us now from Milwaukee. Jeff, Giannis is coming off those back-to-back 40-point performances. What should be the Suns' game plan to try and slow him down tonight?
Well, I think you can't just try to slow one guy down. It has to be an overall component of we've got to limit them in totality better. I think you'll see them maybe pick Giannis up a little bit higher tonight so he doesn't try to get ahead of steam and get as deep where he can Euro step by guys, trying to have him play in a little bit more traffic. I think also they'll still foul him when he gets a point-blank shot if possible. And what they have to do is they have to keep him off that offensive board. And he punished them, as did Bobby Portis. So there's a lot to try to correct, but I think picking him up higher and getting in a more of a crowded situation would give them their best chance against Giannis in the half court.
The second chance opportunities, they really stand out with what he did with the points in the paint. On the other side, Devin Booker coming off that 3 for 14 shooting performance in Game 3, his worst game of the postseason. What's the key here for the Suns star to bounce back tonight?
It's just that, Kevin, bounce back. Like you're a great player. You don't have to overthink it. You had 2 days off. He's going to have his rest. He's going to be feeling better, I would suspect, and just play better and shoot better. And I think you'll see them run more stuff for him. They might even put him in more isolations where he has a chance to go get his own. So I think there's a number of things, but it comes down to when you get your opportunities, as a great player, you've got to convert at a higher rate than he did in Game 3, and I expect he'll do that.
All right, looking forward to this. Much more from, of course, Jeff Van Gundy on the call for tonight's game. 9 Eastern over on ABC. Jeff, thank you very much. El?
You got it.
Yeah, Kevin, just over an hour from tip, right? So no doubt Milwaukee buzzing right now. Fans are heading into Fiserv Forum to cheer on those Bucks in Game 4 of the finals tonight. But if you scan the crowd very closely tonight, you may actually see one Bucks fan in particular with a signature arm wave. However, it is another tradition that he began during the Bucks playoff run that is truly amazing.
Side 60 minutes with that game on ABC. A lot of talk. Look, by the way, that's smooth. But anything he could wear is smooth. I love the
yellow. He's very much channeling that Valley, right?
100%. It's got a little mango pop to it as well.
Yeah.
The Suns are very young, inexperienced. He's the difference maker, and that is Chris Paul. We will see him in action in an hour as the Suns try to take a 3-1 series lead out.
All right, SportsCenter on the Road is presented by Rocket Mortgage. We're going to go live to Milwaukee. Malika Andrews carving out a few minutes for us very quickly courtside as she gets ready to sideline for Game 4. Malika, I know that you just talked to both coaches, so what stood out to you from what they said? Start with the Bucks and Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, so Mike Budenholzer said that they know that the Suns play best when they are playing fast, and so they're expecting them to come out with a punch tonight because of what happened in Game 3. And I also asked Mike Budenholzer about the wall that they have seen teams build against Giannis, and he said, we understand that at this point he is going to see so many different types of defensive coverages, and he is prepared for all of them. They're also expecting that man right there, Devin Booker, to have a better game than he had in Game 3, so they do not in any way expect this to be easy to tie up this series, and they need to bring the appropriate intensity.
That's what Coach Bud expects to see from his team and the Suns. What did you learn from Monty Williams about his team?
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit more about Devin Booker, right, Elle? It was an uncharacteristic performance from him in Game 3, but these extra couple of days, they did him well, getting a little bit more rest for his body, as well as some time to go over that film. But Monty Williams also said, we need to help him as much as he helps us. So look for them to be drawing up some specific specific schemes to get Devin Booker going. And then DeAndre Ayton, he was off to such a hot start before he got in a little bit of foul trouble in the last game. So he said that DeAndre Ayton helps us, we need to help him. We need to potentially be sending some double teams, looking at things like that, of ways to make it a little bit easier on our players. They are so keyed in, they are so locked in, they are eager to revenge how they played in that game 3.
Yeah, a big part of DeAndre Ayton's ploy is going to be just simply staying on the court. Him getting into early foul trouble ended up being a big killer to that Suns team. Malika Andrews joining us here just under an hour from tip game 4. We'll see her on the sidelines over on ABC. Thanks, Malika.
Thanks, Al.
Minutes away from Game 4 on ABC, the NBA Finals between the Suns and Bucks. The Suns enter tonight. Interesting here, not a prediction, it's a trend. How about a 3-0 record in Game 4s this postseason, beating the Lakers, the Nuggets, and Clippers all on the road? They've also been great at closing those games. Phoenix has never trailed in any of those fourth quarters. Can they bounce back tonight on the road with that crowd? Here's their head coach, Monty Williams.
We have a bunch of sore losers on our team. I mean, our gym and film sessions are, pretty intense after losses, as I'm sure the Bucks are. You don't get to this point and not know how to regroup from a loss.
Order. Joining us now with much more on the matchup. So Giannis coming off back-to-back 40-point performances here, Legs. What's the biggest adjustment the Suns need to do defensively against him in Game 4?
Yeah, I think it's time now to make the adjustment that Toronto made a couple years ago, make the adjustment Miami made against him a year ago. You're just going to have to give this guy more traffic, because right now the Suns are trying, I think, to take away more of the three-point line, or they're trying to deal with Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday, and try to eliminate their effectiveness. It's at the point now after both of these last two games, it's obvious. Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to continue to do this against these smaller lineups that the Suns put out there, particularly if DeAndre Ayton's off the floor. So, Kevin, I just think it comes down to more bodies in his driving lanes, more traffic in the post. You're probably going to have to run some double teams at him now, because he's getting a really good rhythm down there, particularly on that left block when he comes to the middle of the floor. I just think it's time to start making sure he's got more sets of feet in front of him, and see if he can make some plays off the dribble on kickouts, and if the Bucks can start to really hurt them from the three-point line. I just think he hasn't gotten enough attention to this point, and this pattern is going to continue unless the Suns decide to go ahead and run some extra guys at him.
Yeah, depth-wise, they really missed Dario Saric right there on the inside behind Ayton, providing at least a few fouls. So who wins tonight, Legs?
I like the Bucks. I mean, they're just so good at home. This actually could be one of those series where we don't get a road win. It would not shock me. Suns took care of business at home. Bucks the other night were fantastic. I think they're going to do it again in this building, primarily because I just haven't really seen the adjustment yet against Giannis. And if he continues to go for 40-plus or even 35 north of that very efficiently, I just think it's very difficult for Phoenix to be able to take the ball out of the net all night and come down the floor and play with the kind of pace that you want to. And that's what Giannis Antetokounmpo is doing to them right now. And if I had seen a little bit more adjustment in the last game to let me think that they've got a defensive scheme we haven't seen yet, I'd be more confident that the Suns could get a road win. But I just think right now the Bucks and Giannis are leading the way. This is a very confident team, and I think they get the win in a very difficult place for road teams to win a game.
Yeah, keep in mind Milwaukee 8-1 at home so far this postseason. Legs, looking forward to tonight in Game 4. Thank you.
No doubt, DeAndre Ayton looking forward to Game 4 as well. Looking for a bit of a bounce back, bit of an uneven showing, if you will. Put up respectable numbers. Impact was lacking because he got into foul trouble, sat 24 minutes. Has certainly impacted his team in a negative way. We'll see if he can bounce back for Game 4. Devin Booker looking to do the same. And if you're looking to place a wager tonight, you got a ton of possibilities. Caesars William Hill has the Bucks as a 4.5-point favorite to win. But a winning wager on the Suns money line would still return you $175 for every $100 that you wagered. As for Devin Booker, also looking for a bounce back, as I said, over-under for his point total, 27.5. Take the over? Yeah, take the over,
Yes,
Kev?
take the over.
And for more, here is Daily Wager.
Over on both.
Over on both? Okay.
Welcome into the Daily Wager studios here in the Las Vegas Strip. I'm Doug Kazarian alongside Tyler Fulgham. We had an extra day off, but it wasn't a travel day in the finals.
Strange, but I'm sure the players appreciated the extra rest. Got to watch that show-stopping home run derby on Monday and the All-Star game last night.
Yeah, I know. It's maybe just didn't want to compete with Major League Baseball as well. It's been a great series so far, but a kind of one-sided for a home team. The home team is won and covered all 3 games so far. They've won all the games by double digits as well, but the Bucks finally get the W against Phoenix. They had not won the first 4 meetings, including the regular season, so far entering Game 3. Giannis has been a beast, 41-13 in Game 3, going over his points prop. He joins LeBron and Shaq as the only players with back-to-back 40-point double-doubles in the finals. As for tonight, Bucks laying 4. Total is 220.5 for what it's worth. Game 4s of the NBA Finals have gone under 12 of the last 15 years, although Suns and Bucks head-to-head this entire season, including regular season, have not gone over. Last game did push as well. What's your play?
I like that trend to continue with the home cooking. I'm going to lay the 4 with the Bucks, mostly because I see the path for Giannis to dominate again. With no Dario Saric, all he has to do is be aggressive and go at DeAndre Ayton and try and get him in foul trouble again. That's why I think the Bucks can win this game by 4, because I think Giannis is going to do that again. 35, 40-point effort. We know he's going to give you 10 to 15, maybe even 17 boards like he did in Game 1. So behind Giannis, who has far exceeded my expectation with how explosive and normal he looks, I think he has a big night going over 46.5 points and rebounds, and the Bucks win by at least 4.
All right, thinking along the same lines, I'm going the under. What do I mean by same lines? It's because DeAndre Ayton guarding Giannis is the key factor for that defense. Giannis has dominated any other defender than DeAndre Ayton. Look at when Ayton's on and off the court. Wow. The net rating, minus 17.1 when he's off the court. Got in foul trouble in Game 3. That led to a nearly 70-point third quarter, which skewed the over-under so much because Ayton had to go to the bench with foul trouble, and then they went small, so they pushed the pace on offense and then didn't have any defender on Giannis. So I think as long as he stays out of foul trouble, and I believe the youngster can, Suns will be okay defensively, and we'll just finally have an under between these two.